take your time and analyze what they put forward, and what are the consequences to yourself and your immediate family, consequences to the wider society, and then you make an informed decision. This is an election where I certainly will appeal to my voters in St. James South at the national level, not to let it be a very emotional one. I believe certainly here in St. James South that my stewardship over the last 10 years, my ability to remain with my people in St. James South, to be able to address many of the concerns that have been faced in terms of the road infrastructure, recreational facilities, youth programs, church support, a whole range of activities, and then the things you don't see and hear about. The one-on-one conversations as you seek to give young people guidance in the future. We work with families in terms of dispute issues and financial issues. These, to my mind, are the things that, when my stewardship is reflected upon, ought to be able to allow me to retain this seat and to continue to represent the good people of St. James South.
Now, you obviously have had your ear to the ground for a while because you're talking about your stewardship. But the feeling is from people on the ground is that things have been really bad and people have been suffering and it's time for change. Now, how do you respond to that?
One thing we politicians on my side certainly have not been very good at is communication. I will confess that. I won't deny that at all. You hear things and we have not gone out there as a government or political organization and sought to debunk that as a myth where it is a myth. So people therefore believe. Now, am I going to stand here and say to you that life has been a bed of roses for all people in this country? No. I think what is important is that we realize that some of the austerity programs that are put in place, some of the belt-tightening measures that are put in place, were designed to ensure that we have a better future and that we really don't have the level of suffering as some people are pointing out exists in Barbados today. I'm satisfied that the measures we pursued have by and large allowed us to maintain a level of stability in this country to ensure that unemployment did not go up through the roof as it has in other Caribbean islands, that law and order or disorder is not, let's say, as prevalent as you have in other parts of the world. It's not to say that we're perfect. We do have challenges. There are issues. I invite people to look at the bigger picture and realize that there are some sacrifices that everyone will have to make in order to safeguard the wider good of this country.
Well, across the Caribbean, people are pointing to places like Grenada, St. Vincent, Jamaica, who have done better, albeit with help from the IMF. Barbados has suffered the same economic stress in 2007, but yet there seem to be improvement. Haiti, for example. Why is Barbados still in this position?
Barbados is a far superior position to Jamaica. Jamaica has been an IMF program now, perhaps since I may have been second.
More than 40 years.
And so people say here, Barbados is worse than Jamaica economically. So show me the evidence. I go to Jamaica and see for myself. I don't wait on reports. I see the wide gap between the have and the have-nots. That is not the case in Barbados. I see in Jamaica kids who can't get a good primary school education. That is not the case in Barbados. Jamaicans have been paying at university for years. Here in Barbados, we've only introduced 20% of the economic concentration. So, not to cry down Jamaica. Jamaica is a lovely place. Jamaicans are wonderful. But the harsh reality when you look at the economy in Jamaica, the sacrifices that Jamaicans have made over the last 30 years or so and where they're at today, I don't think they can make comparison by this. And we do not intend to get to that point. And to be fair, I don't think either one of the major political parties intend for Barbados to go to look at Jamaica.
What is the major issue for the Democratic Labour Party? Young people, youth unemployment is up. What's the major issue? Okay, economy overall, but what do you put your finger on specifically, saying this is why you need to give us another 5 years on top of the 15 that we have?
Yes, a couple of things. One, no recklessness in the economic management of the country going forward. Because you see on the other side, a lot of promises to reduce taxation, abolish a lot of NSRL and all of these things. But at the same time, offering to provide all goods and services for all free of quantity living. That is impractical. I think the Democratic Party team are going to find a much safer and steady hand. I'm not going to say that there are not some measures that will have to be put in place going forward, no matter what, but certainly a safe and steady hand is very critical for this economy and society on the whole. Secondly, to realize, as we keep saying, Barbados is also a society. and we have to ensure that we continue to protect the most vulnerable in society. So a lot of the measures that people are calling to be done, and the programs with perhaps some more austere measures in place, are the kind of activities that really and truly will work out for a lot of the gains we've had over the years. The education system, people focus a lot on the fees at University of West Indies, and you don't deny it, it's not a challenge to some families. But when you look at the fact that over the years we have provided a whole new set of sixth form schools, for example, we've kept plants intact. Look at West Terrace Primary School here that provided a playing field for that never had one before. These are the kinds of things that will reach out to the hearts and minds of Barbadians and say, look, we have to work together to build a far more resilient economy, one that can withstand a lot of shocks and pain. You know, the global situation we are in the early part of this decade, for example, have really shook a lot of the economies to the core. It also shook Barbados to the core. I'm not going to stand here and say that we are where we are today because of that, but what we are where we are today from a positive perspective, because a lot of structural deficiencies in this society and economy were unraveled and had to be confronted going forward. I think going forward as well, we're going to have a bit more rationalization of the social services, because at the end of the day, the conversation has to be about realistically where does Barbados be another 10, 15 years from now, and what it takes to get there. And I certainly, as I look down the line here in St. James South with my people, I see a Barbados as really a vibrant economy, one where we exist a lot more harmony perhaps than we do now, where young people have not just the educational opportunities, but the opportunities to invest in their own business and themselves. We have started, certainly in my watching the Ministry of Commerce as well business, to roll out additional finance and strengthen the business support organizations that allow young people to get into business and to grow out their business. I think we're going to evolve into an economy and society where we're really a lot more in control of our destiny than before.
But realistically, as a senior minister, you just mentioned the IMF. You need some foreign exchange now to fix stuff. What is the solution? Where are you going?
What stuff do we have to fix?
Whatever
today?
needs to be, and I mean,
No.
4.6 weeks of.
If you're going to ask me, no,
I'm saying 4.6 weeks
no, Harry,
of.
Harry,
You see what I'm saying?
Harry,
you know what I'm saying?
you can go. I'm a politician. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer you.
Okay, carry on.
You say we need foreign exchange now to fix problem. What do we need foreign exchange for?
Based on the central bank governor last week, that was their report. He's saying we've got a few weeks of cover. We need foreign exchange.
So you're not asking me a question. You're making a statement.
No, I asked. Can you give me a break?
Harry, please.
That's why I said what realistically.
No, but
what is
you
the
are
solution?
you are asking a
no,
question.
Donville, I'm
you
saying
want me
what's
to
the-
answer you
Okay, carry on.
the assumption
Go
that
ahead.
I agree with you.
Go ahead. Well, you don't agree, but I'm saying
No,
agree
no,
with
no,
the,
no,
agree with the
Michelle,
governor
that
of
is-
central
no,
bank.
hold on a
Okay,
minute.
go on.
No, you are not asking a question. You're making a statement.
Based on what
You
the governor said.
Yes, the governor said we have 6.9 weeks of
Exactly.
coverage, which, by the way, is higher than it was the last time we gave the report. No, are you prepared
No,
to
I'm
accept
saying
that?
okay. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
No, yes, you accept that part of
yes,
the thing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So you said we need foreign exchange now.
Yes.
The governor did not say that.
He says we're going to reach
You
out to the
mentioning-
private sector. Hang
Yes,
on.
to
He says
say-
one option is we can reach out to these guys and say, bring that money back in for us to use it now. So I'm asking, realistically, where are you going to get the foreign exchange from if you don't turn to the IMF? What are the solutions? What are you offering? Where do we get the foreign exchange from now? That's what I'm asking.
But you
That's
make
my
the
question.
point as though you need this level of foreign exchange over the next 2 weeks, for example.
So it's
we have over the
6.9
last year.
weeks of cover.
First off,
adequate?
that 12 weeks of coverage is a standard that has been used perhaps the last 40 years. It varies from economy to economy. It varies from society to society. Barbados, in spite of all what you are thinking and saying, have not defaulted on any loan domestically or internationally. We have been able to pay our bills in this country. So don't get too excited when you hear the governor's, or your interpretation, so what the governor is
I'm
saying.
just quoting him. Yeah,
know?
yeah, I'm just
We
quoting
will
him.
continue to pay our bills. A couple of things have been put forward there. There are some assets that we're disposing of to be paid for in U.S. currency. We're still on trajectory. The National Terminal, the Hilton Hotel sale is still there. And of course, there, as the governor pointed out, there are those entities that may have been allowed over time to make investments abroad on the condition bring some back in to help the country when they need them. I have not seen anything to indicate that we're in dire straits. But secondly, there's some short-term measures, but then medium and long-term. Because at the end of the day, what you are not asking and not me you personally, but those who spoke some of these views. We can't keep borrowing our way out of this and be very consistent about that. We have not gone into international markets and borrowed like that. We may do occasionally. The Minister of Finance did indicate a couple of measures that he will look at for short-term measures, but long-term, there has to be increasing the exports of goods and services from Barbados, for example, so we can earn our way out of this thing. You know, the commercial banks, by the way, you know the commercial banks will not be running to central bank for foreign exchange. Because see, you hear the central bank report, 6.9 weeks of coverage. But you know, for example, international business sector. Today, I don't hear any of them coming to me and complaining that they can't get foreign exchange. The commercial banks obviously has enough FX to take care of their customers' day-to-day needs and perhaps have a little bit for the central bank going forward. I understand and empathize with those who have these concerns. The foreign exchange position of Barbados, as far as I'm concerned, is not in dire straits, but there's no room for complacency. So short-term, dispose of some assets in foreign currency, maybe a little boring for some instances, invite those in private sector who can contribute. But I focus more on the medium and long term, which is earning more from the exports of goods and services of Barbados.
And you're confident that that formula will give the DLP the government again? Is that what you're saying?
You see, some people focus on the next election. I focus on the next generation. Because you may, in a quest to win votes, say and do some very reckless things. And then you win an election and you feel compelled to implement them. Now, I know that Ms. Motley does not believe half the things she has promised. Because she knows they're not good. She's been my friend for years, and she's an intelligent person. I know this is all a lot of politicking per se. But I'm not going to stand here and say to you, we're going to promise this and do it just because we want to win the seat. I'd rather be honest upfront with people about what realistically we can and cannot do, even if I pay a high price for that. Barbados is bigger and more important than the Humble Innocent.
Mr. Innes, my question to you, we've been here the interim morning and we're seeing about 4 persons come in, so we're looking at maybe 6 or 7 persons in St. James South. So I'm just wondering what you want your constituents to remember about you and your impact within the constituency going into the election.
That I want my constituents to appreciate that if there are 5 or 6 opponents to myself, they're my opponents. As a reflection of the weakness of the Barbados Party, that they cannot gather behind them enough individuals to avoid the crop up of 3rd parties or 4th parties or 6th parties in this country. For me personally here in St. James South, I want my constituents to acknowledge that I continue to be a parliamentary representative who's prepared to defend them, take note of their interests, and to advocate for changes wherever it has to occur, and to do so for fair favor. In this constituency, I think I pride myself in not being partisan. I have good supporters who, over the years, have sympathized with the Dems and the Barbados Party. I'm able to go through this constituency wherever without any hostility. As a man who is able to sit and work with anyone from any socioeconomic background. But what's more important is to say to my constituents in St. James South, I commit to continue to be the kind of representative that listens to you, that engages with you, that is prepared to say to you, I do not agree with you, but once we can come to a common place, to go out there and be a strong advocate for positive change.
Just one more question.
Sure.
What are your plans just leading up to the election in terms of keeping the momentum and continuing that momentum that is currently?
Same as I've been since 2007 when I first ran, which is to get out there, continue to engage with households on a one-on-one basis. We have our spot meetings, our national meetings over here, get some paraphernalia out. You know, for me, this is a continuation of a journey. I'm not one of these politicians who believe in just popping my head up when elections are called. I think I've been working with my constituents for the last 10 years. Have I seen every constituent? No, I have not seen every constituent. Have I sat and engaged with everyone? No, I have not. It certainly has not been practical to do that. You always hear I heard people in St. John saying they never saw Anbar who was there for many, many years. Not Anbar was there. But you know, that is a prayer you often do. What for me, it is about being accessible. So if I can't see you in your home, you can see me in mine or the office or wherever we communicate. I think that you're going to see a lot of the posters and stuff around whatnot. Sometimes we go with the flow. Personally, I am not one to stick up posters on the pole around the place and whatever the fact. I believe in full engagement, but sometimes you need a little bit of PR out there too as well.
All the
All right.
best to you.
Thank you.
And we're still pass? Where you want? I thought you were taking.